Thanks, Pranay. Now, the Supreme Court's order cancelling coal block allocation has served a knockout punch to metal manufacturers who stand to lose substantial investment as far as pre-development activities go. JSPL is amongst the worst hit by the verdict. Joining us to discuss the impact, Ravi Uppal, the MD and CEO at JSPL. Mr. Uppal, thanks for joining us. Let me start off by asking you, what kind of impact are you likely to see from the cancellation of the existing, Gari Parma 4, 1, 2 and 3 blocks? What kind of impact will that lead to?
Well, Joe, that the Supreme Court decision taken, it basically gives us 6 months' time, to ensure that the government could step in and give us an alternative source for supply of coal. So for the next 6 months, the business will go on as such. And after 6 months, we're hoping that the government is able to arrange the alternate source of coal supply. I don't think there should be any impact than due to cancellation. Of course, it's a big dislocation. We have invested tens of thousands of crores of rupees to build up these power plants and steel plants based on these captive mines. And we just wish that, the operating mine should have been allowed to continue. So it's very unfortunate, very sad that such a decision has been taken. But we're just hoping that government will now rise to the occasion. And as they have promised, the Supreme Court, within the space of next 180 days, they will be able to make alternative arrangements.
Sure. So then by how much are costs likely to increase on the back of a possible shift towards e-auction, procurement, or even for that matter, import of coal? And more importantly, your Angul project being a hinterland project, will it make matters worse there?
Well, that it's very difficult to tell as to what would be the source of the supply in future. If we put in, buy the coal in e-auction, the total amount of coal which is being offered has been reduced. But we will certainly participate in the auction if it's organized by the government and try to see that we are able to retain our mines.
So, then can you give us some sense in terms of, whether industry is confident as far as the supply from Coal India goes and its ability to really step up and provide the additional supplies which will now be required?
Well, everybody knows that Coal India is already producing 500 million tons of coal. That itself is a humongous challenge. Making sure that the right amount of coal is produced and delivered and supplied to all the consumers is not a small task. Now, for them to take up the mining of another 50 to 60 million tons of coal in a way that the supplies remain uninterrupted to the various projects which are already under production is not so easy. So I think this is where the government has to intervene and decide what could be the best way in which the interest of the economy and the industry is served. And so it is something that we ourselves will prefer. I think that could be a more certain way to ensure that the coal production continues from the existing mines and all the end users, their interests are also not compromised.
All right, fair enough. Now the coal verdict, all right, thanks so much for joining in, Mr. Uppal, and getting us that perspective there. But the coal verdict also puts PSU banks at a big risk. We talked to Arundhati Bhattacharya of SBI.